Describing myself back in 8th grade as a student, I was bad, man. I was a class clown. I didn't care about school. I didn't care about nothing but football and making people laugh.
Well, Wendell was in my 3rd period earth science class, and he was a class clown. Didn't really take school seriously. I saw a lot of potential in him, and was encouraging him just to make better choices, and he really was into football. And so I was like, well, in order to do football, you have to make sure your academics are where they need to be in order to move forward there.
The thing about Jim Borton was, even though I was a class clown and even though I was that kid who just didn't want to be involved with teachers or academics, she kept trying. She kept asking, how am I doing? She kept trying to get involved with who I was. She believed in me, and you know, a lot of people didn't.
You know, he was a hard worker. He's a natural leader, but we just had to kind of skew that towards academics. And then, you know, when he realized he could do it, he just began to turn it around and pass the class, and then just became more of a part of our family.
They had a huge impact. They had a huge impact from 8th grade when I finally opened up to her and, you know, went to the church and got involved with the church, and she introduced me to her husband, Papa Jeff.
He's a big, strong guy, and yet has this gentle heart. Like, he genuinely cares for people. I've seen him care for people that have not treated him well, and it speaks a lot to his character.
They were extremely involved. When I had parent-teacher conferences, they would go. And so that's how involved they were all throughout high school. The summer of my freshman year of high school, I broke my ankle, and her and Papa Jeff were there. They were the first ones at the hospital. They were always there. They came and they prayed with me and they talked to me and things like that.
We'd had already decided, like, if something happens to him and he needs a place, then we're gonna be that for him.
Summer of going into my senior year, we were on a mission trip with our church. Me and Papa Jeff happened to be on the same team. And we were there cleaning out this band room at a high school, and I get a call from my little brother, and he's like, hey, Auntie is throwing your things out the house. She said she doesn't want you living here anymore. So I went to talk to Papa Jeff, and he completely stopped what he was doing, and he was like, we need to go get your stuff. And that night I cried. I cried like crazy. I just didn't understand why it was happening to me. And Papa Jeff was like, why are you crying? I'm like, because I don't understand what I'm gonna do. He was like, Wendell, we got a room ready for you right now. Like, this is something we've been praying for. We've been praying for more time to be spent with you. We've been praying to have you around more. And this is what I think God has given us, the opportunity to have you come stay with us. And from that point, it was as smooth as anything. You know, I went to their house, felt at home. They were my parents already, so there was nothing different.
When Wendell first moved in, it was just meant to be. Like, we felt like God had opened the door for this opportunity, and we try to reflect that in our lifestyle just by, you know, serving others, and where we see a need, if we can fill it, you know, we just like to help out.
I think he adapted pretty well. I mean, really, from going from little structure, which wasn't necessarily bad, but definitely different with a home dynamic with little kids. Like, hey, we had a curfew and stuff, and he respected it. Like, I mean, that was one of the things that spoke volumes to us. You
know, I had to adjust to being home by 11 and things like that, but that was completely fine. I was okay with it because I was coming home to a family, a complete family, and it was great.
One of the memories that sticks out in my mind right after he first got to our house was he asked Jen to bake him a cake for his first day of school. Do you remember that? And so for his first day of senior year, he brings this big old cake to school. It was just a really cool memory of a lot of firsts with him.
Well, I coped with the change because as soon as I got in the house with Mama Jen and Papa Jeff, they told me, you know, we understand that you're going through a lot, but right now we're trying to get you ready for life.
While he was in high school, I mean, the dream was to play college ball. And I think it was just perfect that he came with us his senior year, that we could walk alongside him with that and just help him.
You know, we need you to get into college. That's what you want. You love football, and we're gonna make sure you get a chance to do what you love. And that included SAT, that included getting my grades up, that included everything.
Like, first of all, Wake Forest is known for its academics and being a phenomenal school. But the coaches that were coming to our house were consistent, and it didn't feel like they were trying to sell us anything. I mean, they'd show up to the house, they were calling, they were talking to us, and throughout the whole thing, the guys from Wake Forest made it clear that this was a school. And then when we made the visit, it was hands down, like there was no question. When
it was time to go to college, I would say I was pretty much ready. I mean, it was extremely emotional. My first time away from them since they've come into my life. But it was something they was prepping me for. They was getting me ready for this.
I mean, it's so good and it's emotional, right? Because he's worked hard, he has, and we're very grateful that he has the opportunity he does at Wake. But I watch his leadership, that always blows me away. Not only is he a captain, but how he circles up his men and he encourages all of them before they start. And for me, it's just incredible to see him lead, you know? We've known he's been a leader. When he was the class clown, he was a leader then, but he didn't know it, you know? It's really cool to see his dreams come to fruition. So we're incredibly proud. I mean, we sit in the stands with the other parents, and there's nowhere else I'd rather be. Because I know all those parents are thinking the same thing we are, you know? Very grateful for Wake Forest.
I want to help kids who are in the same shoes I was in. It has to be 8th grade, because that was the grade I was picked up in by Mama Jen. And it has to be kids who I feel like need me. You know, kids who I feel like myself, I didn't have a role model. I didn't have anybody in my 8th grade year until I met Mama Jen. I want to get to those kids.